I hope you have got the notification of recording, right?
Yes, sir. Go.
Yeah, actually, there is an announcement. I think you have got the announcement from the aviation team. So they have integrated Zoom with the portal. So now the recording will be placed on the Zoom automatically, and it will redirect it to the portal. That's the reason you are getting a different option to start the meeting. So even I did not schedule this call. It got automatically scheduled as per the timing. So that's the backend story altogether. So we can start the session now. Rest of the candidates are joining. They are in the lobby, so I will admit them.
So, sir,
So let
we will get the recordings on the drive itself, na?
I don't know. I will have to check. The recording is going on, but so they did this practice in the last weekend. I don't know where the recording is getting saved. Where it is getting saved, it doesn't matter. I will just download it and I will share the link. It will work as usual that we are doing from the day one.
Okay.
So I will download the video, I will upload it on the drive, and I will share you the link.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
And I also assume that you all have got the video and the notes from the previous sessions and from the last session as well. Is there any issue
Yes, sir.
that you are facing?
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
in case if I want to delete the videos, then I can, right?
Sir, only one video is not playing, sir. Some error.
Which one?
I think 17.
Yes, sir. 17 video I have also not downloaded.
Class 17.
Sir, I haven't downloaded any videos. Sir.
That's not playing or that's not downloaded? What's the issue?
It's not downloading and it's not playing also, sir.
It's not getting
I
downloaded.
think it is the one video that you have said that we have to play it in the laptop.
Yeah, right. The size is very high, actually, 1.13 GB. So in this video, there was some codec issues. So we used third-party software to recover this one. That's the reason the size is very high. So you need to download this one into your laptop. Then you can play it with the player. It will run.
Sir, we are not able to download. If we click on a download, it's showing some error. File
What
corrupted.
error? File corrupted.
Something like that, sir.
Can you share your screen and can you show me?
Sir, I'm using mobile phone.
Okay, you are in the mobile. Do you have the laptop? Where have you
Yes, sir.
downloaded? On the mobile or
In
laptop?
Sir, in laptop.
Laptop.
I'll check and I'll share you tomorrow, sir.
Yeah, sure. And what about others? Are they also facing the same issue with the 17th class video?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, no issue.
Okay, there are some issues with couple of users. So just try to download that in your laptop. In case you face any issue, let me know tomorrow. I will check it on the screen share what issue you are facing. Then I will use some different method to share the video otherwise.
Okay, sir.
In case the class 17 video does not work, then I will have to find out some other option. In class 17, it was just the portal overview. So if it doesn't work, then it is not going to impact us very much. It was just the portal overview, how the portal looks like, or what are the features in the portal. But still, if that does not work, let me know tomorrow. I will check it on the screen share and I will help you.
Okay, sir.
Let me see if someone is waiting in the lobby. So, okay, we can start it now. It's been a lot of time. So far, any doubt from the previous sessions? No? So what I will do now from tomorrow onwards, I will start uploading the important questions from the topics that we have completed. Like in the Linux, what I used to do, in the Linux, I used to upload the document file, which contains the notes, just like this. In the previous sessions, what I used to do, I used to upload the documents along with the video. Whatever we have studied on that particular classes, I used to upload the notes. Like we have understood about these commands. We have used these commands as a practical. Then what theory we have done. So I used to upload the notes along with the video. Now, since we have started our AWS, so I will upload notes, whatever we will study in every class. I will upload the relevant notes that I used to do with the Linux as well. along with some important questions. So there will be questions as well, which will be known as assignment questions. So I will upload some assignment questions as well. Those questions would be important for the interview perspective, and it will be topic wise. Whatever topic we will cover on a particular day, I will upload the questions basis on our discussion. So you can go through with the notes along with the questions, along with the video. You will have the entire week. During your practice, if you feel that you are stuck at any point, or if you are not understanding any question, you can discuss the same to me on Saturday. So those are going to be the important questions. On Linux, I have not uploaded the questions because there were only commands. So your commands can be your question. Like in Linux, someone can ask you how to create the user in Linux, how to check the user ID in Linux. So your notes can be related as a question in the Linux. That's the reason I have not uploaded any questions, because someone can directly ask you how to check the fqdl name in Linux. So you will have to practice these commands. That would be okay. But in cloud, the interviewer is going to ask you the questions. So whatever we will study, whatever important interview questions can be asked in interview, I will upload it topic wise. You can go through with that. If you feel you need any informative session, you again need the refresher, you can discuss the same with me on Saturday. I will address it. But make sure that you are going through with those questions, because if you will practice from now on, that will help you to achieve your interview goal. Otherwise, at the end moment, you will be failed and you will be rejected. Because once the session is ended, interview process will be started, resume process will be started. I will give you the troubleshooting questions. I will share some demonstration how you will give the interview. After that, the classes will be ended and you will not be in touch with me in that particular manner that you are right now. So better option would be to start to prepare from today onwards, so that we will be ready by the end of the session. So I will do it. I will also upload the notes of the previous sessions till the time when we started the AWS. So we started the AWS, I guess, on which class we started the AWS? It was on, I think, class 16.
It is class 16, sir.
Yeah. So from class 16 onwards, whatever important notes, whatever notes can be created, whatever questions can be created, I will upload all the questions and all the notes. So I could not do it. Actually, I was about to do it in the last weekend as well, but last weekend I was busy in uploading the videos, because you told me that videos have been deleted. So I was busy there, so I could not create the questions. But after tomorrow's session, from Monday onwards, you will see the notes along with the question series. So you will have to practice that. For any doubt, you can always ask. Now, if you don't have any doubt, so we will start a new topic. So far in AWS, we have discussed about our console, like how does the AWS portal looks like, what are the services we have. Then we have discussed about IAM, identity and access management. So in the identity and access management, we have seen that how we can create the user accounts, how we can create the group accounts, what kind of permissions we can apply on the group or on the user. So we have seen the group level permission, we have seen the inline permission. Inline permission means that we can directly attach to the user without creating any group. Then we have seen the basic things, how we can change the password of user account, how the user can log in, how the services can be given, what is the URL, how to change the alias, how to create the shortcut for the user. But that's something we have seen so far. Now this IAM part has been completed. Even multi-factor authentication was also part of it. So we have seen the practical of this one as well in the previous session. So IAM part is done. Still, if you do the practice and if you will have any doubt, you can ask me next weekend as well, but do the practice. Now there is a new topic that I'm going to start, which is called EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. This is the full form, Elastic Compute Cloud. Now why 2 is written here? Because C is getting repeated 2 times. Here you can see in the full form elastic, C compute, C cloud again. So C is getting repeated 2 times. That's the reason it is mentioned as EC and 2. Means the repetition of C is 2 times. So the full name is Elastic Compute Cloud. Now what is Elastic Compute Cloud? So Elastic Compute Cloud is one of the infrastructure as a service. As I told you in the cloud, there are 3 levels of services. There are 3 levels of service model, you can say. The first one is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. The second one is platform as a service. And the last one is software as a service. So EC2 is one of the infrastructure as a service. It is the part of your infrastructure. It helps you to create the infrastructure so that further tasks can be performed. So by infrastructure, what we understand? By infrastructure, we understand about servers, the networking part. For networking, we need router switches. For servers, we need the hardware devices. To infrastructure as a service, we understand about operating system as well, because we are going to install the OS on the hardware on the server. Then in the infrastructure, storage is also part of infrastructure, because without storage, we cannot save our data. So these things help us with the infrastructure. So in the infrastructure as a service, there is one service which is called EC2. This is part of infrastructure as a service. Now, what is this EC2? So EC2 is basically one of the server. In AWS, we call the virtual machine, because on every cloud, whatever servers we will create, that will be created in the form of virtual machine. It is not physically existing for us. For us, it is just a virtual thing that we will do on the portal. But in the backend, the AWS service provider will have a big data center. As I told you in the first session during the demonstration and during the first 2 classes as well, that AWS or any cloud service provider, whether it is Azure, whether it is AWS, whether it is GCP, they will have a big data center in the backend. Whatever resource we create, whether we create server, whether we create a storage account, that is actually getting created in their environment, in their physical environment. So they have a big, huge physical environment where they are giving us the services of renting. If we want to create VM, they are providing the VM service on the rent. So actually, in case we want to create any server, that is getting created in their physical environment, and we are using it in the form of virtual. It is getting provided to us in the form of virtual. Virtual means that is not physically exist for us, but in reality, that does exist physically in their environment. So EC2 is one of the virtual machine service, means it is one of the virtual server service. Through this, we can create the servers. In company, there will be different server for different tasks. Just like in your job, you can see there are servers like Active Directory server, DHCP, DNS, file server. So there are a lot of servers in the company. So in order to create those servers, what we need the infrastructure. We need the server hardwares, so that we can install the server operating system and we can install the servers. We can create the services. So EC2 is one of the virtual machine infrastructure as a service, which offers us the facility to create the servers. So whatever operating system we want to use on the servers, we can use that. Whatever level of services we want to create on the server, we can do that. And the name here is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Now, what is elastic? Elastic means flexibility. Elastic is just like the flexibility that you can stretch, that you can extend or you can decrease any time. Means you can extend this, you can increase that, or you can decrease that any time. That is called elastic. So here, what is the meaning of elastic? So elastic meaning here is you can increase the resources on your server, or you can decrease the resources of your server anytime. Means if you have 16 GB of RAM in your server, in your EC2 instance, And if you want to increase it by 32 GB, that is possible. Anytime on the spot, you can do that. You don't have to wait for the hardware to purchase, nothing, because you will just pay the rent. So anytime you can increase the resource. In case you need 8 GB of RAM, you want to decrease the resource, you can also do that. That is called elastic. So through elastic, you can stretch the things. You can increase or decrease the things as per your requirement. Now, what is compute? Compute means through which we can perform the calculation. So when we talk about any server hardware, it will have the CPU. And what does CPU do? CPU performs the calculation of a system. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It is also known as processor, or it helps in the computing services. Whatever input we give to the CPU, it helps in the processing of that. So that processing capacity is known as compute capacity. So in the server, obviously you will see one of the processor. That's the reason compute is written. And you are getting this service on the cloud platform. That's the reason the name is Elastic Compute Cloud. Means you can increase or decrease the resources anytime on the server level, on the processor level, which is hosted on the cloud environment. So that's the name. That's why the name is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. And interviewer can ask you, can you give us some example of infrastructure as a service? So EC2 is one of the infrastructure as a service. Storage account is an infrastructure. Networking part is an infrastructure as a service. Now, what is this IAM? So IAM is the part of platform as a service. I will discuss this one later on, why this is called platform as a service. For now, whatever services on the cloud, if they are helping us to create the first level infrastructure so that we can run our servers, we can run our services, that is called infrastructure as a service, the IaaS part. And in the infrastructure as a service, as you know very well, we are going to manage the infrastructure part for the company. Now, is there any doubt what is EC2? So EC2 is one of the service which is available in AWS cloud. It gives us the facility to create the servers. Through EC2, we can create the servers on the AWS platform. In Azure, if you talk about Azure cloud, it is called VM. EC2, the same thing here in AWS is called EC2, and the same thing in the Azure is directly called VM, the virtual machine. So both the cloud have different name, but the services are same. Here it is called EC2, here it is called virtual machine. In GCP also it is called virtual machine, VM instance, the Google Cloud. So let's focus on the AWS part now. When we talk about the EC2 instance, when we talk about the EC2, means if I want to create any server on the AWS platform, then what are the possibilities? How the AWS is going to offer us the EC2 instance service? So if we discuss about the types, whenever you want to create the servers, whenever you want to launch the EC2 instance on the AWS portal, there are some types that you can pick. There are some predefined configuration of the hardware of the servers from the AWS provider end that you can pick and you can create your own server. It's the concept is same with AWS. The concept is same with Azure as well. There are some predefined servers along with the configuration that you can pick according to your requirement, and you can pay the rent to the AWS and you can use your servers. Let's see what types are available for AWS. So I am on the AWS site. This is very important link. I will put this in the notes that I will upload. Plus, for your reference, I am sharing this with the chat box as well. I have pasted this link in the chat box. So this is the link where we can see we are in the EC2 page of Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Now, when we talk about the types of EC2, what types of servers we can create on the AWS portal, what kind of machines we can pick, what kind of configurations we can take. So we have a lot. We have general purpose, we have compute optimized, we have memory optimized, accelerated computing, storage optimized, high performance computing optimized. HPC means high performance computing. Instance features, measuring instance performance. So these are the types of EC2. We can pick in company as per our requirement, as per our workload, and we can create the servers. Now let's discuss about the general purpose. What is general purpose type? So general purpose means that involves very less capacity, that involves very less workload. Suppose I have a small company. I have very small company where only 25 to 30 employees are working. I don't have that much workload. I just want to use the server for basic task. I don't have very big production workload. So I want to use balance of resources. I need balance of CPU. I need balance amount of RAM. I need balance amount of networking. So in that condition, I will use the general purpose type of EC2 machine. Here, as you can see, it is general purpose. So the prices will be very less. Whatever higher configuration you will pick in the cloud, there has to be the charges. You will have to pay the charges to the vendor. So according to company needs, they pick the machine, they pay the charges. General purpose, as I told you, it is used for a very basic task. If you have a server that you want to use for the practice purpose only, or that you want to use for very basic server load, then you can pick the general purpose. Now in the general purpose, we have different machines. We have different configuration of servers. Just like you can see M7G, MAC, M60, M6I. So something like that. And it is going till T3, T3A and T2. So these are the various variations. Now, if I talk about M7G, if you will pick M7G, then in M7G, there are different types again. M7G dot medium, M7G large, M7G extra large. And if you will pick M7G medium, you will get one CPU. These are the ready-made servers. These are the hardwares actually that the service provider is providing you. So that's called EC2. This is called EC2. So if you will pick M7G medium level of server, medium level of hardware in the IaaS, in the EC2, they will give you one CPU, 4 GB of RAM. This one I will discuss later on. What is this one? Network bandwidth, network speed will be 12.5 Gbps. So this is a good speed. And EBS bandwidth. EBS means copy pasting. EBS is the hard disk actually that you will get with the EC2. Elastic block storage. So if you will copy something in the server, if you have this configuration of server, if you will copy and paste something, then the speed will be 10 Gbps. The read and write speed will be 10 Gbps. The network bandwidth speed will be 12.5 Gbps in this version. If you will take this one, M7G metal, then you will get 64 CPU, 256 GB of RAM, 30 GB of network bandwidth speed, 30 Gbps, and 20 Gbps of read and write speed, copy pasting speed. So this is how we can decide basis on our workload that which one I want to pick. Then similarly, there is different one also. See, here you will get this level of things. If you will pick this one, you will get this level of things. So in the general purpose, you have different variations of hardware. You have this type, this type, this type, this type, and this type. In the interview, nobody is going to ask you the difference between this one because nobody can remember. I don't remember. I also refer the site. Something I remember, most of the things I don't remember because it is not something that you can cram up. You cannot do rattamari of these kind of things. This is very big. See, how will you do? Again, in the category, there are different subcategories. Just like if you will go with the M5A, in the M5A of the general purpose, there are different categories. See, M5A large, M5A extra large, M5A extra extra large. So how will you remember the differences? So it is not possible. So in interview, what they can ask you these series, this one, like what type of EC2 instances are available. So you will have to mention that there are general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, accelerated networking and all. And they can ask you what are the differences among these. So they will not further ask you what is T series, what is T2A series in the general purpose, what are the difference, because you cannot remember. If someone is asking you, just simply mention that I don't remember, because that's a broad topic. So if you want, I can share my screen, I can refer the AWS site and I can explain you. This answer you can give to the interviewer. You should have the confidence to give this kind of answer. You cannot learn this one. That's the reason I have picked the URL. Otherwise, I have created the PPT, because in every 6 months, they are going to update something and they will add it here. So how will you remember? You cannot. So this one is the general purpose. In general purpose, there are sub different variations. And why the general purpose is used? So you can pick the general purpose when you have the less workload. You have the basic workload. So in the real production scenario, hardly there is any company who will pick the general purpose. It is just used for the testing purpose, you can say. If you want to do any testing of the software and you need some server, then you can pick the general purpose. For your personal training, just like you are learning the course, for your personal training, for your demonstration, you can pick the general purpose so that you will not pay the high charges to the AWS. Otherwise, in the real scenario, it is only used for the testing workloads, not for the production, because production is very big thing. Understood why general purpose is used and what are the limitation? Any doubt, any question? Anything?
No, sir. Understand.
Now the second type is compute optimize. If I click on it, so compute optimize means it is a type of instance that is idle for the compute bound application, which requires high-end processors. Means if you want to host any workload on the server, which requires very high level of CPU, compute means CPU processing power. If any workload, suppose you have installed any application on the server that requires high level of CPU capacity, just like take the example of Amazon site. You are doing the shopping on the Amazon site, it requires high level of capacity, because there are a lot of customers who are connected at the same time from different parts of the world. Someone is on the cart page, some is on the payment gateway, some is searching something, some is adding something. So there it requires high level of computing power, high level of CPU capacity. So if you have that kind of workload, then you can pick the compute optimize EC2 series. So compute optimize EC2 series is ideal for the compute bound application. Means it is used in the CPU, in that level of scenario where the CPU capacity is required a lot. See, high performance processors are required. So here the examples are also written. What kind of examples you can use? Like scientific modeling, you can use the compute optimized series. For gaming purpose, you can use the compute optimized series. And in the compute optimized, we have different subcategories. We have C7G, we have C7G, and GN means generation, C76I, C76IN, and further there are different subcategories again. In the C7 series, we have C7 medium, we have C7G large, we have C7G extra large, and these are the differences. We have one CPU in the C7G medium, we have 2 GB of RAM. This one I will discuss later on. Network bandwidth, we have 12.5 Gbps. EBS bandwidth means copy paste speed, we have 10 Gbps. So these are the differences in the compute optimize. Then we have memory optimize. Memory optimize means it is used in that scenario where we require high level of RAM. And when we would be requiring a high level of RAM, when we are doing some designing kind of task. Designing in the sense we are developing any software. If we are developing any software, that time we need, there is a concept of paging file. The person who have done the BTech in computer science, they would be able to relate, and the person who have done the PCA as well, they would also be able to relate. So there is a paging file concept. Paging file means whenever we are developing any software or whenever we are using any operating system, there are some inbuilt applications which is running in the backend, and they are consuming our RAM. Just like, let's take a basic example. If you open the task manager of your system, in the backend there are some services which is running already, and you are not aware about it. Just like if I will go to the services, you can see these are the services which is running in the backend, and these services are consuming my RAM. It is utilizing my RAM. See, here you can see there are services which is utilizing my memory. See, I'm not aware about this service. What is this? Service host user manager. But still it is consuming my 1.3 MB of RAM. I'm not aware about this service. What is this Unistack? But still it is consuming my RAM. So there are some important service which runs in the backend, and they consume our memory. Memory means RAM. So if you have that level of workload which consumes a lot of RAM, just like during the software development, during the operating system programming, we need the system which has a lot of RAM. So in such condition, you can pick the memory optimized instances. So especially during the software development, during the coding, the developers are going to pick this level of infrastructure machine, this level of servers, memory optimize. In the memory optimize, again, you have different category. There will be different differences. So you can read all these. Don't try to learn, just read and understand. Just read this. That's it. Then we have accelerated computing. Accelerated computing is used to create the functions. Functions means, let me tell you in the basic language. So if you want to do any automation task, if you want to do any automation, just like every night at 12 p.m., not 12 p.m., at 12 a.m. every night, my server should be automatically shut down. So that is called function. In AWS or in any cloud, that is called function. So if you want to do that kind of automation, then you will use the accelerated computing. Means if you are using a lot of automation task in the company, then you can use the accelerated computing. So here you can see the scientific work also. In the scientific work, we have a lot of calculations involved. We have a lot of compute power involved. So that kind of time also we can use the accelerated computing instance. So in the company, nobody uses this one, accelerated computing. This is mostly used in the scientific modeling organization. Like scientists are mostly using this one. For automation, company use different one. Company can use this one. Memory optimized, they can go with the storage, they can go with the HPC. So this one is not very much used in the company, but it has a specific purpose, just like it is mentioned, data pattern matching, graphic processing. So the task which requires extensive level of CPU processing, those company use this one. Just like I told you, the scientific organization, the research organization, they will go with this kind of instance. Then we have the storage optimize. Storage optimize means the instance, the machine, where suppose we have that kind of workload when we want to access something. Like suppose we have SQL server in the company. In the SQL server, suppose we have 1 terabyte of data saved. Now, this data is very important. Most of the employees of my company, they access this data on regular basis. There is some data which is very important, and most of the employees, suppose 80% of the employees, they access the data on daily basis. And they edit the data on daily basis, they save the data on daily basis. So in this condition, we need a server, we need a hardware where we can have the read and write speed at a good manner. we want good level of read speed. Read means if we want to access any data from the hard disk, that is called read. If something is stored in my C drive, suppose I have something in my D drive and I want to access this one. I want to access this data. So that is called read capacity. Read, I am reading something. And if I am saving something in my drive, that is called write capacity, W. So if you have that kind of database in the company that you want to access on very frequent basis, most of the employee connects to it. And if you save a lot of things on regular basis, then you will need a server which will have a good of read and write capacity. So that is called storage optimized machines. For us, we hardly save 1 GB of data, 2 GB of data, and we wait. It takes a lot of time. In the company, they will have a data in TB, in PBs. So they would need a good capacity of machine that can enable good read and write speeds. So in such condition, they will need storage optimize. Here you can see IO operations. It helps to increase the IO operations. IO operations means input and output. That is something like your read and write, copy and pasting. So if you have that kind of workload, which requires high level of input and output processing, then you can go with the storage optimize. So company have this kind of infrastructure, so they go with this one as well. If they have the database servers a lot, for database, they can create this level of machines. If suppose I want to create SQL database in the company, then where I will create it? I will create it on this hardware so that my user can access my SQL server in a good speed and they can save something with a good speed. Again, the prices would be high because whatever high level of machine we will pick, there will be higher charges. What you are going to get in the machine, there are the differences again. What features you will get, you can read, you can go through with that. If you don't understand any point, you can discuss with me. I will help you to understand the point if you stuck somewhere. So the theoretical things, you can go through with that. What you will get, what you will not get. Then we have HPC, high performance computing. So again, the same thing. If you have a very high workload, very high level of workload that requires extensive level of processing power, then this one is the ultra version you can use. There will be high charges and this will give you a very good speed, very good, you can say latency. The latency would be minimal. There won't be any slowness. It is ideal for the application that requires high performance processor. Means high performance CPU. If you need high performance CPU, then you can go with the HPC optimize. So you can assume that Amazon server is hosted on HPC optimize because it requires high level of processing power. Then there are two variations here, HPC 6ID, HPC 6A. So you can read, you can try to understand. If you don't, you can discuss with me. This one is in preview version. This is in the preview. They are doing the trial. They are in the evaluation. So it is not launched yet. In future, they are going to launch this one. These two, instance feature and measuring instance performance. This is in the trial. So the main one is HPC, storage, accelerated, memory, compute, and general purpose. That's the main one. Any doubt, any questions so far?
No, sir. Understood.
So let's proceed further then. Let's go to the AWS portal and let's see how to launch very first EC2 instance, how to see these features. So I'm going to the portal. Let me sign in. Is the recording going on or not? Okay, it's going on. So I will log in with my root account. How will I type this? Yeah, this one is somehow good. 5VN5Q8. ना मुश्किल कैप्चा दोगे तो कहाँ से डालेंगे? W37X85. Is this M capital or small? And what is
Capital.
this? Capital.
Reflection है
W
ना?
is no, the reflection.
And what is this? This one?
No,
इतना ही
85.
चाहिए सर, इतना ही चाहिए, आप करके देखिए, सबमिट करिए।
Yeah, submit.
That's the reflection. Okay. That's the reflection. Actually, I don't like this captcha. I don't know what the people wants to prove. If I will type the captcha, then I am not robot. If I will program the robot in such a manner that he can understand the captcha as well, then why there is what the hell is this security is all about? If I can type the captcha, I am not a robot. If I will not be able to type the captcha, then I am a robot. So I face a lot of problems during captcha. So it means I am a robot.
Yes.
Okay, so we are in the portal. Let's create our servers. Let's launch our EC2 instance. So in order to launch it, you can go to the services and you can select the EC2. Means you can go to the compute. If you are not getting the option here, you can go to the compute. And in the compute, you can see the EC2 option. In the EC2, you can see virtual servers in the cloud because you are creating the servers. If you don't want to go here, you can go to the search box and you can type EC2. Then it will directly open the EC2. So you just need to click on it. Once you will click on it, this is the dashboard. Here you can see there is no EC2 instance running, 0, because we don't have any server right now. This one we will discuss later on. What is auto scaling? We have to do all these practicals. These all are important for us. So currently there is 0. Make sure during the practical, whatever resource you will create, just carefully check the region where you are creating this. I have already clarified you the concept of region. AWS or any cloud provider have their own region. They have their data center in different part of the world. So you need to make sure where you are creating your resource. If you will create, suppose you are in, your user base is in India. You are selecting the location very far away from India. So there will be latency issue. There will be slowness issue. So company decides their location accordingly. Company decides on, there are multiple factors for the company. The first one is their user base, where the users are available, mostly from where their users access the services. That is the first point for selection. The second point is price. If you will pick the region which is nearest to your user base, then the price would be higher, of course. If you are in India and if you are picking a very distant location, then the price would be low. AWS will offer you less prices. But if you are in India and you are picking the region in India itself, then there will be high prices. But companies are paying for it because they want their production to be in the running condition. Then the third factor is services. In every region, all the services are not available. Some of the services are not available in India because they have not launched it. Some of the services are not available in the West US. So services are also one of the factor. If you need some service which is not available in a particular region, then definitely you are not going to select that particular region. For service comparison, you can go to the AWS region options. This one I have shown you in the beginning as well. So you can go to this link. Oh, it is redirecting me to this one. Let me open it again. See, so as I told you, we have different regions in AWS. Suppose I am in North America. This one is the wrong link. Let me open another one. This is the graph only. Region and Jones. This is not a good one. Where is that site? AWS regions comparison. You will have to bookmark this site as well. That will help you to understand the region differences. So let me pick that up and let me share it with you. I think I have shared you in the beginning, but let me share
Yes,
it
sir.
again. Where is that one? Global infrastructure. Where is that site? They have done some modification, I guess. Anyone have that link specifically that I've shared? Because I guess that link has been changed or something else is going on. AWS data center locations. I will check it again. Maybe there is a different link or it has been changed. So as I told you in the very beginning, there are some services which is not available in every zone. Like in India, they are in the launching phase, so most of the services will not be available. In case you want to check, then you can refer on their site. So I will look for that link. Where is that link? And I will share it with you. If I will get it during the session, then I will share it. Otherwise, I will have to figure it out. So I will share you that link for the comparison in which region what services are available. Then you can compare. This is the link, but that is not a good link. AWS. This one you can also use if you want to check. Suppose in US best origin what services are available, then here are the list. But that one was a good URL that I have shared with you. So I will figure it out and again I will share you. Meanwhile, you can pick this one. So this will help you. Suppose I want to check in India what services are available. So I need to search for the India. It would be time consuming again because the search option is not here. Suppose in Middle East, I want to see, because we will have to search for India again. So in Middle East, I want to check what options are available. So I have selected my Middle East, and in Middle East, we can see what services are offered. These are the services. So in every region, most of the services are not available. So that is again one of the factor in deciding the resource availability in selecting the regions. So whenever you are creating any resource on the AWS, make sure in which location you are creating the resource. For your practical, you can create it anywhere, but in the real company, they will give you the location and you will have to select that location before creating any resource. So I am selecting East US. I don't want to host the resources in the Ohio. I am selecting East US, North Virginia. Even we can also go with this one. This is not very far away. So whatever region you want to select during your resource creation, select it carefully. Don't take too distant location. So I'm going for the East US. Once it is selected, it will reflect here. So your virtual machine, your EC2 instance will be created in the Ohio region. It will be placed in this particular region. Now, currently there are 0 instances. In order to create an instance, what you need to do, you need to go to the instance option on the left side. On the left side, there is an instance option. Just click here. You can see there is nothing, no instance. You don't have any instance in this region. So in order to create the instance, in order to create the server, just click on launch instances. Once you will click, you will get the option of launch instance. Here you need to give your server name. Just like, is this DHCP server? Is this Active Directory server? Whatever. So you can give any name. Suppose my server name is production 01, prod 01. So I will give any name. Then I will have to select Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image is also known as AMI. Interviewer can ask you what is AMI or what is AMI ID. The full form is Amazon machine image. In the cloud, in every cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, we have the operating systems. We have the licensed operating system. They will offer you the operating system on the best prices, on the discounted prices. So you cannot use your own operating system. Just like we were doing it on premises, we download the operating system from Google and we install it. And in the company, we need to purchase the operating system and we install it. But in the AWS or in any cloud, we don't need to purchase the operating system from different sources from outside. They will have their marketplace. They will have their market, which is called marketplace. And we can select the image, whatever operating system we want to use. We can simply select that and we can install it on our server. We will have to pay the charges to the AWS for these images because these are the licensed images. These are the real images. No pirated, no free version. These all are real and paid. In your free trial account, Microsoft is not, Azure, AWS is not going to charge you. Actually, Azure is also in my mind. So AWS is not going to charge you for 1 year. But still you will have to select the image very carefully. Some images are very high loaded image. Your free credits may get impacted. So I will tell you time to time which one has to be selected or which one not. So you can see in the image section, in the Amazon machine image, you have a lot of images. Amazon Linux, this is the Linux of AWS. See. As I told you in the Linux session, we have different Linux flavors: Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat Linux, Caldera, Kali, Backtrack. So there is Amazon Linux also. Amazon Linux is the product of AWS. So in the company, Amazon Linux is also used. Red Hat we have done. Red Hat is also used. Ubuntu is used, and Amazon Linux. These 3 Linux are used in the company. Commands are same. Don't worry about the commands. Mac operating system, you can install the Apple operating system on the AWS as well. Apple operating system have 2 types, the server level operating system and the client level operating system. So in case you want to create the server level Mac, then you will select this one. There is one difference. Mac is not supported in the Azure. So Mac is the only operating system which is only supported in the AWS cloud. So if any company wants to use the Mac server, they will never go with the Azure. They will always pick the AWS. Rest of the things are available. Linux is there. This Linux is not there in the Azure because this is the product of Amazon. Now we will see how to install Linux as well. We will see how to install Windows as well because We have to do both. So here you can see, if I drag it here, so you can see there are different images. Even if you want to see more, if you want to see the complete market, just click on this, browse more AMIs. It will redirect you to the marketplace. Marketplace means just like Play Store. So let's click on it. Once you will click, you can see different image. We have Amazon Linux. This is the version ID. Verified means it is the real. And this is the description. Then you can see we have Mac OS Ventura. Ventura is one of the server level operating system of Apple. Then Mac OS Monterey. This is also one of the server level operating system. On the client level, it will be Mac OS Lion, Macintosh, Xavier. That is the client level OS. So that will not be there because cloud is only used for the server. Then we have Red Hat. We have seen the Red Hat practical in our Linux journey. Then this is also one of the Mac server version, Big Sur. Then you can see, if I will scroll it down, these all are the operating system. If I will scroll it down, these are the Windows Server OS. Then this one is Linux. Debian is a Linux. Then again Windows. Here you can see there is one Windows Server 2022 with SQL Server. So this is the high loaded operating system along with SQL. If you want to create the SQL server in the company, SQL means SQL. It is called SQL actually. So if you want to create database server, you need the database application SQL as well, along with the Windows Server 2022. Then you can directly install this package. You don't have to install the Windows Server, this one. Then you will install the SQL. So the better option is install the operating system which already have the SQL. So the prices will be according to this one, what package you will select. So that's the reason I was telling you, whenever you will pick any of the image, use it carefully. Just like here you can see, you can pick the Amazon Linux. It will come with the SQL server. So application will be pre-installed on the Linux. So you need to read the name carefully whenever you are installing any image. See, deep learning. This is one of the technology in the Linux. So we will just select, we don't want to create any SQL and all. We will see the installation of Linux as well. We will see the installation of Windows as well. So let's see the installation of Windows first. So I will select Windows Server 20. Suppose I am selecting 2019. You can select 2022 and you can do the practical. I am showing you this one. The option is same. That's the reason I am picking any one randomly. So I will select Windows Server 2019 base. Just click on select. This is 64-bit and this is free tier eligible. What is free tier eligible? Your account, your AWS account is free tier account. You are not paying any charges to the AWS for 1 year. So you will have to use the free tier eligible images only. If you will pick any other image which is not free tier eligible, just like this one is not free tier eligible. See, only verified provider is coming. If you will install these images, then there will be charges. You will have to pay to the AWS. You can install, they will not deny you, they will not restrict you, but you will have to pay the charges accordingly. Whatever charges it will have, you will have to pay as per the hours. For whatever hours you will use their server, you will have to pay for it. So make sure whenever you are installing any operating system, any EC2, just check whether it is free tier eligible or not. Otherwise, on your free account, there will be charges. This is again one of the pricing part. So I will select the free one because I also don't want to pay any charges. So I will select Windows Server 2019 base. It is free tier eligible. It is 64-bit. Select. So once you will select it, it will show here. See, you can see it is showing here. The image, Amazon machine image you have selected is Windows Server 2019. It is in English. It's English language, full version. This is one of the AMI. This got published on this particular date, means they have uploaded this on this marketplace on this particular date and time. This is 32 and 64-bit both. Virtualization, what platform they are using in the backend? So they are using HVM, hyper virtual machines. Root device type means what C drive, what kind of hard disk it is going to create. So it will be EBS. EBS I will discuss tomorrow. ENA, it is related to encryption. I will discuss this part tomorrow. There is a separate topic of it. So image has been selected. Now let's scroll it down. Once you will select the image, here you can see the instance type. What instance, what type of configuration you want to take for the hardware. This one is this one. This part is this. You will have to select this one now. So it is asking you to select the instance. What level of configuration you want to select? What is your purpose? Whether you want to go with the general, compute, memory, accelerated, HPC or what. So here you can see by default, it has selected T2 micro. Now what is this T2 micro? So T2 micro is the part of general purpose. See, T2. T2 series is the part of general purpose. So it has automatically selected the general purpose. Why? Because we are using the free tier account. And for free tier account, if we don't want to pay any charges to the AWS, then we can use the general purpose machines. Here in general purpose, you can see in T2, it got clicked. In the general purpose machine, you can see in the T series, if I will go to the T series on the T2, these are the things. These are the differences. See. So it is automatically telling you which instance you want to pick. It is free tier eligible. It is for the free account. If you want to change this one, you can. They are not going to restrict you. Just like if you want to change this one, just go to the instance type, select this arrow. If you will click here, then you can change. See, you can change. You have everything. You have T2 nano, T2 micro. So these all are the part of different series. This one. From here, you can check the differences. Which one is part of which one. So again, let me go here. If you want to compare, then it will redirect you to the same website that I was telling you. So basis on your requirement, you can select. One more thing. Whenever you are selecting any instance type, make sure it is free tier eligible. This one is paid. You will have to pay the charges. See, if you are using this one, T2 nano, then on demand window pricing would be $0.0081 per hour. So it will be like 4 to 5 rupees in Indian currency, but still there are charges. For this one, what charges you will have to pay? So in the free tier, it's again 0.0016. So you will not be charged for this because you will have some free credit for 1 year. So they will deduct the money from that credit. It will not be deducted from your credit card. It will be deducted from that balance. Whenever you create any account, they give you some balance. It will be for 30,000 rupees something. So whatever resource you will use for 1 year, they will deduct it from that 30,000 rupees. Whatever bill will come, that will be automatically deducted. If you will use more than 30,000 rupees, then they are going to charge you. They will send you the bill. So how to check the bills, how to check the budget, I will tell you in the next session. There is a topic for it. For now, whatever practicals you do, make sure you are selecting the free tier option. Just like T2 micro is the free tier. This one is also free tier. So most of the things are free tier eligible. Most of them are not. So the price part you can see per hour, whatever you have to pick. If you install Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, then this is going to be the charge. If you install Windows, then this is going to be the charge. If you install SUSE Linux, this is going to be the charge. And in the T2 micro, what you get 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, and current processor, means current generation. So I will select this one, the by default one. which is already selected. Then in order to access this server, in order to log in into this server, we need key pair. Key pair means we need to create the encryption key, the user ID and password key. Without that, we cannot log in. We can log in, but we need one of the encrypted server that time. So by default, every company will have a key pair. They keep it safe in their Excel file or they keep it safe in their personal storage. So we need to create one. In order to create, just click on create a new key pair. Just give any name. Suppose I am giving key 1, key 01. You can give any name. What is the format of the file? What is the extension? PPK is used before, like suppose if you are using Windows before window 10. If your window is before window 10, like window 8, window 7, then Windows Server 2003, Windows Server 2008, then you need to select the PPK. You need to access that with the help of putty. I will discuss this one later on. If your window is beyond Windows 10, like starting from window 10, window 11, if you are using that kind of series, then you will use PEM. For every Linux, if you are hosting any Linux environment, for every Linux, you will select this option by default, PEM. So OpenSSH, PEM. For older Windows or for older Linux that is not in use right now, you will use putty. This option, PPK extension. So you will have to select this one always because companies are using the latest ones. Like they are not using Windows 7, Windows XP right now. They are also not using Windows Server 12 and that kind of infra. So you will select this PEM so that every Linux and every window can be the part of it. Then create key pair. Once you will click on create key pair, it will download one of the PEM file. This is your key. You will have to keep it safe. Now, if I will scroll it down, there are some network settings. There will be a separate topic on it. This is one of the infrastructure as a service, and the name is VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. So there will be a topic next weekend for VPC. That time I will discuss. For now, just keep it as usual. Just keep it as default. Don't do any changes here. Don't make any edit. This one I will discuss in the next session in the next weekend. Not tomorrow, next weekend. There will be a separate topic of security groups, VPC. Then I will discuss this one. For now, just keep everything as it is. This one also, keep everything as it is. If nothing is selected, don't select. There will be a topic of this security group. Just scroll down. You will get 30 GB of C drive. This one I will also discuss what is this GP2. GP2 is a type of storage in AWS. So I will discuss this one. For now, just keep it as it is. This option I will tell you in the next weekend. Then let's click on advanced details. Scroll down. This one also I will discuss in the next weekend. This one I will discuss tomorrow. These options. These one are very important options. I will discuss in the tomorrow's session. And this one also I will discuss tomorrow. Sport instance option. So whatever is selected for now, don't do any changes. Just keep it as it is. Metadata also I will discuss. Everything I will discuss actually. User data also I will discuss. I think this will be discussed by tomorrow. Tomorrow I will discuss about the user data as well. So some topics I will discuss next weekend because that is a part of new topic. That is a part of VPC. But there are some topics which I will cover tomorrow. So for now, whatever options are coming, don't make any changes. Whatever I told you, only do that changes. Select the free tier things. Select the instances accordingly and keep rest of the things as it is. Then in the right side, you can see the summary. How many instances, how many servers you want to create. If you want to create 10 servers at the same time, just select 10. It is going to create 10 servers at the same time. If you want to create 100, select 100. but I want to create only one. I will create Windows Server 2019. My size is T2.micro, and this is my by default setting. I have not made any changes, and this is free tier. In the free tier, we get 750 hours of compute capacity. We can run the virtual machine for 750 hours, and it is not going to charge us anything for the year. So just click on launch instance. Just review all the details, select one, click on launch instance. It will hardly take 10 to 20 seconds. It is created. See, even it did not take 10 seconds. So success. Now, in order to check whether it is created or not, let's go from the beginning. Let me go to the portal again. I am in the portal. I will search for EC2. Click on it. Here you can see, if I will refresh this one. Here you can see one instance is in running condition. Means one server is created now. In the left side, if I will go to the instances, here you can see one server is created. The name I have given was prod01. And this is the unique ID of my instance. This is called my AMI ID, the EC2 instance ID. And what is the state? It is running. The server is in running condition. It is working. It is on. And what is the instance type? It is T2 micro. Alarm option, I will tell you later on. What is the location? It is in US East 2A. US East 2A means you are in the Ohio location. See, US East 2. So you have created your server in the Ohio location. Public IP address. This is IP version for public IP, public DNS address. This one is this. I will tell you about this later on. What is the use of that? IP of this virtual machine. The public IP is this one. Elastic IP, I will tell you later on. IP version 6, we have not used. There is no monitoring enable. There is a separate topic of this one. This one I will discuss in the next weekend class. What key we have given? We have selected key 01. We have given the name as key 01. And when it got created, so it got created on this particular time. Even in the overview also, if you will scroll it down, you can see the overview. The same things. So there are a lot of options. We will discuss most of the options tomorrow. Security, again, next weekend. Networking part, next weekend. Storage part, next weekend. Status check, it is just checking the status whether this server is okay or not. So it always check the status. If it finds any error, then it will show you on this particular section. If you face any issue while accessing the server, if there is any troubleshooting required, it will give you step-by-step instructions here. Monitoring, we will discuss in very end of the AWS session. There is a separate topic of this. Tag, I had discussed the tag part, I think, in the last to last session, but still I will discuss again in tomorrow's sessions. Now, if you want to access, this server is created. If you want to access this server, what is the procedure? You need to click on connect. Just click on connect. Once you will click on connect, there are 3 methods that you can use in order to connect to the server, in order to access the remote of the server. Because server is created on the AWS platform, you will have to take the remote of it. So you can connect it through session manager, you can connect it through RDP client, and you can connect it through EC2 serial console. These 2 practicals we will see later on. There is a separate topic for this. For now, in order to access the server, you need to click on RDP client. These 2 we will see later on. So you will select the RDP client option. It is saying connect using remote desktop protocol client. RDP means remote desktop protocol. So we have installed the window. That's the reason it is showing remote desktop protocol. What you need to do, you need to click on download remote desktop file. Once you will click on it, it will download one of the MSTSC file. Just click on it, then click on connect. Then the username is administrator. By default, it will be administrator. If I will scroll it down, you can see the username of the server is administrator. So it is saying that username is administrator. You are trying to access this server It is in East US 2 location. Now, what is the password of this server? You are accessing the prod administrator. What is the password of it? So what is the password? We have not given any password, right? So we had created one of the encryption file. We had generated one of the file. So that file will be used to create the password. How? So you need to click on get password. See, password, get password. Once you will click here, it will ask you to upload the key. It is the same key that we have downloaded during the EC2 creation. So we need to upload the private key. It is in my download folder. This one, key 01 PEM. Click on open. This is the key. This is the RSA key. See, it is encrypted. Here my password is available. This is my password actually. That's in encrypted format. This one. It is my password. In order to check the password, because it's in encrypted format, I cannot log in with this particular encryption. I need to click on decrypt. If I will decrypt the password, then this is the password that you can see. This is my password of the server. So company creates the Excel file. They will have to store the username and the password of every server. They will create the database. Every time whenever they want to log in, they will refer this password. If they forget this password, if they lost this password, they can recover the same through the PE key file. They can recover it from the encryption file, but they will have to keep the encryption file in safe condition. If they don't have the encryption file, they will not be able to recover the password. So just copy this password. It is copied. Now go to server. Now paste it here. It is the same password you can see. See. Now click on OK. So it is trying to connect. Click on yes. Now my server is connected. It will be accessed now. See, it is accessible. It is loading and done. This is something we have created the server on the AWS. It is called EC2 instance. Here we can create the servers. The server task will be managed by the server administrator. Your task will be this one. You will be launching the EC2 instances. Inside this, if any server has to be created, something else has to be done. Server admin will do that, but most of the tasks will be done on the cloud. So you will be responsible for that. This is one of the server operating system. It is server 2019 because we have installed server 2019. If you want to verify, see server 2019. This is how you can launch your EC2 instance. Let me close this one. Now, once it is launched, after your practical, because I have not shown you very extra level of practicals, I have just shown you how to create the instance and what are the types. Now, after doing all the practical, just make a habit. Whatever practical you do in the AWS portal, delete that once your practical is completed. Otherwise, your free credit, the limit of your account, the money that you already have from the AWS end, that will be exhausted, that will be used, and you will not be able to use the free services. So make a habit, just to avoid the billing scenarios in AWS. Whatever practical you do, delete all that. So I have created the instance. If I will go to the instance, if I will go to the EC2, in the instance section, you can see I have one of the server and it is in running condition. Don't keep the servers in running condition after the practical, or whatever practical you do, delete it. Now, how will you delete this one? Just select this, go to instant state. Here you need to click on terminate. What is the meaning of terminate? What is reboot? What is hibernate? What is stop? I will discuss tomorrow. In tomorrow's session, this is very important. These differences will be asked in interview. This is the practical differences. In order to delete this one, just again, I am telling you, select it, go to instant state, click on terminate. Terminate means delete. Click on terminate again, and it is deleted. See, successfully terminated. It is shutting down and it will be removed after some time. If you will refresh that, so it will take few minutes, but don't worry about it. it has been deleted. It is just getting deattached. If you will get the successful option, just like this, if you terminate something and if you get the successful option, it means it is deleted. So it is deleted. Don't worry about this one. It will take some time. It will take 4 to 5 minutes to get removed from here, but it is deleted. So on the spot, it will be deleted and it will take some minutes to remove here. It is in the terminated state. So after the creation of the EC2 instance, terminate that, delete that, so that you can avoid the charges. Understood? Any
Yes,
doubt,
sir.
any questions?
No, sir. Yeah.
So similarly, you can install the Linux as well. So you have tonight and tomorrow, install the Linux, install the window. Just try to see how we can install the EC2, how we can create the EC2 instances, how we can check the options. So just do the practical. We will connect again tomorrow at 9. Then we will see further practicals. We will see further options here and we will complete the EC2 part tomorrow. Tomorrow the EC2 will be completed. Yes, Saif, any question?
Sir, for billing part, as we have linked our card,
Mhm.
so this is the free trial. I'm asking in case AWS starts billing, then it will be automatically deducted.
No, it will not be deducted automatically. The bill will be generated first, then there will be timers. So you will have to pay it. In case you don't pay, then they will charge on your credit card. If you have not used the credit card, then debit card will not be charged. But yes, I will tell you, I will take the session on the billing part and I will tell you how to check the billings, how to set up the alerts and how to avoid the charges. In case they accidentally charge you, in case you have done some mistake and they have charged you, so you can get it refunded. In the Azure also, in the AWS also, if you are the student, they will give you the flexibility to revoke all the charges. So I will show you that option. But for now, whatever I am telling, just go through with that. Don't create any resource without free tier extension and don't keep them idle. After the practical, delete everything. I will take the billing session in the next Saturday. I will take it. I will complete the billing part. Then I will show you what option is that and how to check the bill, how to check the usage. So I will tell you each and everything. Okay.
Okay, sir, thank you.
So let's connect tomorrow at the same time and we will cover the EC2 part. I will complete the EC2 so that from next week onwards, we can start the VPC and the storage. So let's wrap up for the day. Just enjoy your night. Bye bye.
Hello.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.